What's happening, everybody? It's me, Crazy Frankie, and I'd like to welcome you to my Week 5 4 key game picks. Now, I don't want to get into too many thoughts on week number 4 because last week's video was about 20 minutes, so I'm going to try to shorten it, really shorten this video for this week here because I want to get into my picks. Now, I think the two main headlines coming out, the fewest headlines that came out of week number 4 was, boy, did the Patriots get seriously just completely got their ass handed to by Kansas City. And a lot of people are wondering, is this it? Is this really it for the New England Patriots? It's too early to tell. We said this a couple of times, and even last year when we all thought the Patriots might be done, and look what happened last year. They still ended up going to the AFC Championship game. So if you're a Patriots fan, I'm like, look, I know it seems like time is kind of running out for this Patriot team, but I really don't want to count out this Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and whatever talent that team might have. Now, it's tough to say, do I think they're going to win the Super Bowl? No, not with the team that they have. I mean, the way that they played and just got shellacked by the Kansas City Chiefs, they don't look like a team. I mean, they'll probably end up making the playoffs, probably if they're lucky to win that sorry division. I mean, believe it or not, the AFC East is now up for grabs, despite all the teams that won and lost in that division. I know the Dolphins won. I know the Bills lost. So did the Jets. And believe it or not, that division is still up for grabs. Other thought, Pittsburgh. You lose to the Buccaneers on the final play of the game. Obviously, defensive issues really cost Pittsburgh that game, and I kind of don't blame. You kind of have to blame the entire team for blame. I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say don't blame. No, you got to blame the entire team. You had numerous chances offensively to close the game. Pittsburgh didn't do it. Their defense fell apart in the end. You let Tampa Bay get their first win of the season. That to me is just unbelievable. How about them Cowboys? Talking about blowouts, they seriously just demolished the Saints on Sunday night. I gotta say, if you look at, I mean, this was really I kind of would say that game, the Cowboys winning big over the Saints, I think it was more to stick it up Rob Ryan's fat ass. That's basically the mentality of the way the Dallas Cowboys played that game against the Saints. I tell you, this Saints team really right now, it's really their defense that just flat out stinks. I mean, you can't pin this all on the offense. I mean, I know the offense had numerous chances, and give Dallas's defense a lot of credit. They were much prepped up for this game than I originally thought. But hey, I was wrong on a lot of things last week. Teddy Bridgewater, he had a phenomenal performance against the Atlanta Falcons. For a first start, that was not bad at all. Not bad. I've never seen a quarterback start out that well, probably maybe since Ben Roethlisberger maybe. But for a rookie starting out on his first game that just played phenomenal football, nearly flawless, even though I don't have any reports yet on his knee, because he did either his knee or his ankle. It was really his ankle. He hurt his ankle during that game, but really it was good enough to beat the Atlanta Falcons. And when you talk about teams in the NFC South, you know, the Saints lost, Falcons lost, Carolina lost, Tampa Bay getting their first win. Even the NFC South now is up for grabs, despite the Saints going 1-3 and the Panthers going 2-2, and so is Atlanta going to 2-2. That division is also up for grabs, but it's right now early in the season. Right now, I don't look, like I said, we still have a long way to go. It's really going to be tough to see what happens going down the stretch. I mean, we're only at the quarter point of the NFL season. Anyways, now, enough about Week 4. Let's get into Week 5. 15 games on the schedule. Dolphins, Raiders are the only two teams. Well, that's because they played in London. Oh, before I get into that, of course, the late-breaking news yesterday was that Dennis Allen got fired as Raiders head coach. But then again, so many coaches lately for that Oakland Raiders team have been fired. Really, that franchise is a mess. I used to think the franchises that were a mess, including my Chargers with the Spanos family, but really, a once proud franchise like the Oakland Raiders, well, if they haven't stooped this low, I don't know what has, because this Oakland franchise really is a mess. And, you know, I hate the Raiders with such a passion, but for their history and everything they've accomplished in the last 40 years and all that. Basically, it's becoming an embarrassment. I mean, they got embarrassed in London for God's sakes. They can't even win outside the United States. Well, what can I say about this Oakland franchise? A once proud franchise, basically now in the toilet. Anyways, going back now to week 5. Let's get into my key game picks for week number 5. There's only 15 games. Like I said, there's 15 games on the schedule. Dolphins, Raiders have the bye. And I didn't pick any AFC games last week because I felt a lot of the key matches technically were in the NFC. And because last week there was only 13 games on the schedule, now there's 2 more games for this week, for week number 5. So there are some AFC games, and there is a couple of AFC matchups here, and an AFC NFC interconference game that I'm going to talk about here. Anyways, let's talk about this. Key game number 1, the Battle of Texas, the Houston Texans at the Dallas Cowboys. Houston barely squeaking by Buffalo last week, but really it was where more of the craziness that happened was J.J. Watt getting a interception that turned into a pick 6. He scored for a touchdown. Their defense is going to need to come up huge against the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys really played like a complete team last week, demolishing the Saints. And for Houston, they're going to need to play much more better. Obviously, their issues still at quarterback. I know Fitzpatrick played a fairly decent game, but they only beat Buffalo by just a touchdown. And the way the Cowboys played, they look like a team that really could get on a roll right now, especially in that tight NFC East division, which in all honesty, who knows who's going to come out of that division. But talking about this game here, this is a toss-up here. I'm going to say this is a toss-up, but I know a lot of people are saying that Dallas, everybody is going to lean towards the Dallas Cowboys here. The Cowboys are a 5.5-point favorite in this one, and I don't see how I can't go against the Cowboys here. I'm not a big Cowboys fan here. I don't like them, but out of being biased on some things and on there, but I'll be unbiased in this one. I just think the Cowboys look more complete, and I think they're going to give Houston a hard time here the way their defense played last week. And for Houston, like I said, Houston's defense needs to come up big if they're going to stop the running game, which really the Cowboys should have started a long time ago to ease the pressure off of Tony Romo. So who I pick in this game? I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys here. Dallas, no question. I think this will be a much closer game than people will anticipate. But I'm going to lean towards the Dallas Cowboys here. I just think if they keep the running game going, I think they're going to wear out Houston's defense. So definitely I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. Cowboys over the Texans. Key game number 2, the Arizona Cardinals at the Denver Broncos. Now, both teams are coming off bye weeks, and they are. I know the Cardinals are still undefeated in the NFC West division. Denver is, they're 3-1. They're just coming off they're 2-1 technically. Actually, they're 2-1. They're just coming off a bye. Now, Denver's a 7-point favorite in this game, and this game is in Denver. So for Arizona coming off that bye, if they want a chance to even get some sort of an upset here, they're going to have to find a way to be disciplined in this game and find a way to stop Peyton Manning. But it's hard to go against the Broncos at home. This is kind of a quick pick here. It is a key game because the Cardinals are still undefeated. But there's no question that the Cardinals are going to pick up their first loss of the season here. I just don't see them beating Denver in this game. Cardinals need to be very disciplined here. I know they're a much tougher team. Their defense is actually much better than last year's. But Peyton Manning and them coming off a bye, their record is pretty good, even when he was with the Colts. I like Denver in this game. Denver should have some key players back for this one. It's hard. It's going to be kind of hard to go against them. Denver, like I said, is a 7-point favorite in this one, so no question here. And will this game be close? It might, but I just think Denver will pull away easily, and I like their chances at home. You got to go with the Denver Broncos in this one. Broncos over the Cardinals. Key game number 3. It's a big one here. The Kansas City Chiefs against the San Francisco 49ers. Why do I say this is a key game? What do you expect? Kansas City. They blew out the Patriots. Jamal Charles was back for that game. Jamal Charles was back in the game, and they needed a running game big time to ease the pressure off of Alex Smith, as I wrote in my blog last week. And they got it last week against the Patriots. So, yeah, I mean, the running game now is back. And the 49ers defense are going to need to come up even bigger in this game because Kansas City's running game really got back on track. And they're going to need to find a way to stop Jamal Charles and hold him to probably under 100 yards somehow. And no question, obviously, Alex Smith wants revenge. No question he wants some payback after the 49ers dumped him for Colin Kaepernick. And for Colin Kaepernick here, he's going to need to prove himself in this game. Prove himself by beating the Chiefs and beating Alex Smith. And the reason why, and to make his point, why Colin Kaepernick is the man in San Francisco. San Francisco is favored by 6 points in this game, but there's no question this game might be even more closer. I mean, the way Kansas City played, give them a lot of credit for beating up the Patriots. And the 49ers, they barely squeaked by the Eagles as I thought they would. I knew that game would be close. And obviously, the turnovers need to be cut down for San Francisco. I know San Francisco's suffering right now. They're missing some key players, and who knows which players will be back. I know they had some injuries again last week, but tough to really say here who comes out of this victor. Who do I got in this game? Ooh, it's really a tough one to say here. I mean, I don't think I would consider much of the Niners as a 6-point favorite because of the way Kansas City played last week. I'm going to go all out on the upset here. I'm going to say Kansas City beats the 49ers. The way Kansas City played like a complete team last week, they have a legit chance to go into that new stadium in Santa Clara and beat up the 49ers. Will this game be close? I think it will be close, but I think Kansas City is going to really provide an upset here. I'm going to go all out on the upset here. I'm going to go with the Chiefs here. The Chiefs are playing very well. The Niners have injury issues right now on both sides on offense and defense. It's going to be tough for them to stop Kansas City's running game, and that's the key to beat the Chiefs. But I just don't see it happening here. I think the injuries now are piling up for this 49ers team, and it's going to bring a lot of raising eyebrows going on for Jim Harbaugh, the way they coach that team. I mean, even in the news, a lot of the veterans were talking about Harbaugh again. So I think with too much distractions going on the 49ers side, I'm going to go all out on the upset here. I'm going to say the Chiefs beat the 49ers. Key game number 4, the Cincinnati Bengals at the New England Patriots. Bengals are a slightly favorite in this one because the way the Patriots played last week and the way Tom Brady just hasn't been playing well, it's really tough to say what Patriot team is going to show up here. But look, the Patriots haven't lost consecutive games since I can remember. Well, that was really in 2008. Well, that was because Tom Brady was hurt and out for that season. But for this game here, the Bengals, they're coming off a bye as well. They're still undefeated. And you could say this game might be a trap game, and I think it might be. Look, I can't really say, look, this Patriots team, I know the Bengals are, you could say they're kind of a slight favorite in this one, and the way they're playing right now, they could be the team to beat in the AFC. But they need to prove it in Foxborough, because last year these two teams faced each other, but that was in Cincinnati. This game now is in Foxborough. And New England they have a very good home record, and it's hard to go against them at home. And I haven't seen the Patriots lose consecutive weeks in nearly a long time. So, will the Patriots bounce back? I think they barely bounce back in this game. This game is a toss-up here. But their defense really is going to need to find a way to stop Cincinnati's offense here. That's one of the reasons why I say this game will be close. But I think the Patriots will bounce back here. I think their offense will find a way to get it going. I just can't see in the Belichick, Tom Brady era, see them losing 2 consecutive games. And well, like I said, if their offense can stay intact, I think to me they rebound here. It's kind of a gamble. This game is also kind of a gamble here because the way the Patriots playing, you could say they're going to lose consecutive games. They're just going to go down in the toilet. No. I haven't seen them lose consecutive games, and I just don't see it happening here. I think the Patriots bounce back here. I'm going to go with the Patriots over the Bengals. All right, everybody. This video is much more shorter than I anticipated now. I want to cut it short for a lot of my key games. I mean, I take my time when I do this, but Obviously, I cut it down a little bit more shorter this time here. Anyways, that's it for my Week 5 4 key game picks. Um, all of my Week 5 picks will be posted up at the sports blog at blogspot.com. Check that out. And until then, I will see you all next week when I talk about my Week 6 4 key game picks. And until then, enjoy your football weekend.